Pollution is introduction of contaminants into a natural environment that cause a harm and discomfort to the ecosystem, such as physical systems or living organisms. Pollution can take the form of chemical substances or energies such as noise, heat, or light. Some forms of pollution include air, light, water, and noise pollution. Sawdust from wood or wood sheddings are main byproduct of sawmills. They may collect in piles and add harmful leachates or liquid that has dissolved environmentally harmful substances, which may then enter the environment into local water systems, creating environmental hazards.
From the health aspect, I mean, you find out that even the odor that comes out from the sawdust generation, at times from aesthetic value, it's not really something that is pleasant.
Okobaba is a community in Yaba and Mainland local government area. It is home to sawmillers in the Lagos mainland. The neighborhood and environs have been experiencing air and water pollution as a result of poor disposal of sawdust by sawmillers. They dispose their sawdust directly into the Lagos Lagoon and increasingly pollutes the water, thereby threatening the biodiversity of the area. The sawmillers, who also lack better technique to dispose their waste, openly burn sawdust, thereby polluting the environment and causing health challenges to Nigerians.
Automatically, we are not burning waste. We are burning our own waste, which we will not like to continue.
To support the Lagos sawmill workers reduce pollution and health problems arising from sawdust combustion, the Sustainable Development and Research Action for Development, a non-governmental organization in Nigeria, has embarked on a Waste to Wealth initiative. The project, funded by the Global Environmental Facility and Small Grant Program, is implemented by the United Nations Development Program and executed by the United Nations Service for NGOs in Nigeria. Already, 50 sawmillers have undergone special training.
I can use sawdust to produce briquettes, particle boards, and water filter.
What we consider as waste is now going to make some incomes.
A locally fabricated briquetting machine is already functional by the Secretariat of the Okobaba Sawmillers Association in Okobaba. It has a 10 kilowatt electric motor and an output of 200 kilogram per hour with an incredibly high heat value. This is still Environment Matters, and to educate us more about how sawdust can be transformed into briquette, I have with me Leslie Adogame from the Sustainable Research and Action Network for Nigeria. Welcome to Environment Matters.
Thank you very much. Okay,
I know that for some time, sawdust was really constituting a huge nuisance in Lagos, and especially for those who drive along the Third Mainland Bridge, especially the area where they have the Okobaba sawmill. Yeah. And so the fact that we'll be transforming the sawdust into briquettes is a good development. Yeah. But how do you hope to achieve that?
Well, the process is on, Jennifer. I must tell you, waste, until you cannot really find a use for it before you call it actually a waste product. But here we are trying to demonstrate that sawdust is a resource material, not actually a waste. Now, what have we done? We have been able to come into Okobaba community. We got the support of UNDP under the small grant project to give us some small grants. And we fabricated a locally, 100% locally made machine. We call it a briquetting machine. This machine has a capacity. It produces a briquette of a very high calorific value. When we say high calorific value, is something that can burn even better than firewood or charcoal. Now, your question is how we did it. We did it by just simple community participation. We carried everybody along. We have an association here called the Lagos Mainland Sawmillers Association. We engaged with them. We engaged with the government. Yaba local government was involved. We also engaged with La Cepa. You know, so we told them it was possible to convert under the waste to wealth initiative of, which all governments are preaching, as well as NGOs like us, you can convert sawdust to very useful products without necessarily burning it. Because when you burn sawdust, you cause a lot of air pollution, it affects the ozone layer, it affects a lot of health, people who breathe it in and breathe all the obnoxious substances in, it causes serious problems. So we discussed and we convinced UNDP that yes, we can turn this sawdust, these wood shavings that are coming out of wood products, we can turn it to resource materials. You can turn it to briquettes, you can turn it to flower vases, you can turn it to particle boards, and so many things. But we wanted to experiment with briquettes. Briquette is an alternative to firewood. It's an alternative to charcoal. Instead of high deforestation, instead of this sawdust being thrown into the lagoon, the whole of this place is filled up with sawdust because they don't know what to do with it. Apart from burning, they just discharge it into the Lagos Lagoon. So we had meetings and consultation with the chairman, the executive member. We've been on this for the past 1 year, and they were convinced. They gave us a trial. So we fabricated a locally made briquetting machine, which has a high calorific value and is capable of turning the sawdust into briquettes. That's where we are today.
Okay, then let me also ask, turning the sawdust into briquettes is one thing, but do you think the people are really interested to do that? Because you said they have an association where you already, association that you're already working with, but do you think they're interested to really do that?
I tell you, we launched this initiative, we launched this project some 2 weeks, 3 weeks back now. The enthusiasm is high. We've had several meetings since then, and I tell you, all what the community people are saying is, when are we kicking off production? You heard what a lot of them were already saying in the background, that they want to be allowed to continue to use the briquettes that are already test run or produced. They want to see this replicated. They want to see not just one machine, they want to see up to 4, 5, 10 machines all over the place. So the enthusiasm is high. Every day they're asking, when are you kicking off production and all that? And that's why we are here today. Okay, so do you have some testing that you've done already? Yeah, we've done a serious testing. We have products on ground, which you're going to have a look at. And besides just the production testing, we have done some market testing. We've given it to the end users. We've given the briquette to the end users. We gave it to the bakeries. We gave it to restaurants. You see, instead of depending on gas and depending on electricity, which is not there, the briquette can fire. Like I said, it has about 4,000 to 5,000 kilocalories per joule, which it can burn. That is the extent to which it can burn. It only tells you that the meaning of that is about like 20% efficient than firewood. So they have tested it. A lot of the neighbors, the community people have tested it. We have taken it to bakeries. They say it fires. They are ready to buy into the initiative. Okay,
but by the time you start doing the major production, yes, is there a market for briquettes?
There is market. We are presently talking with the Bakery Association of Nigeria. We are also talking with the confectionaries industry. We are also, you see, everybody needs it. The man who roasts suya on the street, we don't need to use charcoal. The woman who fries akara on the street, we need to, he needs high efficient briquettes to use. And don't forget, we are also working on a small local technology where there's going to be, the briquettes are going to come with a composite stove. Yeah, because there are stoves, but we want to make sure that people move away from excessive use of, fossil fuel, kerosene, and all this. We are going to introduce a kind of stove that can use the briquette and burns efficiently. My engineers are already working on that now. A prototype will soon be out. I understand it's already available in Energy Commission in Abuja, but we want to have a locally acceptable one here in Lagos, which we are going to introduce to the people. And to even add to that, the community people are making suggestions to the engineer on the kind of stove, the kind of facility they want. So it's a whole lot of community effort to come out with a product. It's not just an imported technology for you to get to where we are. The people are contributing and saying, we want it this way, we want it that way, and that's where we're going.
Because what impact do they have on the environment?
Oh, enormous. I tell you number one. Burning of the discharge of this sawdust you've seen all over the Lagos Lagoon In the past, where we are now used to be real water, Lagos Lagoon. But what have you seen? It's already taken over by sawdust. Sawdust are taking over the place. Now the Lagos Lagoon has been taken back, pushed backwards as a result of excessive discharge of sawdust. Now what is happening also is that once you discharge sawdust into the Lagos Lagoon, a lot of flora and fauna in the Lagos Lagoon, fish community, the prawns, you can't find them here any longer. So excessive pollution of the Lagos Lagoon comes up as a result of this sawdust. Now another very serious impact is when you burn sawdust, this smoke you see coming out has a serious respiratory infection problem. It can affect the respiratory system and it causes a lot of respiratory tract infection. So reduction of it helps a lot in improving the people's health around here and even along the third mainland route. Another reason is we talk about the climate change. The smoke that comes out of here contains very noxious gases that helps in that contributes to climate change in our own little way. So we are also going to, in this project, don't forget it's just a pilot we have started where we scale up to the bigger ones where we're going to have so many machines that can at least consummate all the sawdust. We will be trapping and be reducing quite a lot of greenhouse gases that are going to be emitted from here. So it's like a three-pronged approach. Even though on another angle, we are going to be solving the economic needs of the people. Because when they saw the sawdust, when they make the briquettes is going to be sold and the money is going to their pot. So it's like a waste to wealth. I mean, nothing is a waste. They are still going to be using it, turning it around and making money out of it while they are solving people's health, solving environmental problem. Aesthetically, we want to see the impact we can make to this environment. This is really, really a heavily polluted environment. We are getting the cooperation of the sawmillers to see how we can clean up this environment. The first step is to reduce the burning of the sawdust and eliminate sawdust burning. Then from there we move to environmental cleanup of this area.
Okay, so what effect will it have on other states? What can other states learn or benefit from?
Obviously, states like Edo State, they are next target. States like Ondo State, or your state, I mean, they are next target because they have very heavy lumbering activities where a lot of sawmilling activities thrive. So we are looking towards how we are going to penetrate them. We've already spoken to Ekiti State. We are talking to Edo State at the moment. Once this is well popularized, we are going to go to the sawmillers there and introduce the same technology to them. We are going to see how we can get more funds and invest into machines like this so that we can continue to reduce the sawdust that is being burned into the environment.
Thank you, Leslie, for coming to Environment Matters, and I think you're doing a good job, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Briquettes are ideal and ready substitutes to coal, firewood, and lignite, among others. Already, some bakeries, food vendors, and housewives have started using free briquettes from the pilot scheme. Patricia AFOLABI is a food vendor in Okobaba. She says briquettes burn well without the harsh smoke from firewood. According to her, they last long and you don't need to add kerosene like in wood or coal for steam and fire generation.
We are cooking food, but we like to use these things because you don't do like the wood. Because if you use wood, the smoking is too much. But this one is good. We like to use it.
Although she has been using free samples from the pilot scheme, Patricia says she will surely spend her money on them if put up for sale.
We are ready to pay for it, any amount they call it.
It took 35 bags of sawdust to produce this quantity of briquettes. Experts say with the amount of sawdust used in production, there is a guarantee that the environment will be free of the menace of sawdust.
We want the community also to be able to participate in environmental initiatives that will have global benefits. And so when we support that, they are kind of reducing the amount of emissions that is being released into the air. And so climate change is being addressed in a small way from the community.
Experts say if the Waste to Wealth project is scaled up, it will be beneficial to all stakeholders and the country at large.